In July of 2015, Barnsley became the backdrop to a tragedy that would shake the community and send shockwaves throughout South Yorkshire. Conley Thompson, a 7-year-old boy known for his energy and adventurous spirit, set out to play with friends one evening, never to return home. The next morning, his body was discovered at a nearby construction site, an area that should have been sealed off, yet was easily accessible to pretty much anybody. What followed was a heartbreaking investigation into how such a tragedy could have occurred, uncovering serious lapses in safety that would not only haunt those responsible, but the entire town as well. So what exactly happened to the child? Let's talk about it. This is the death of Conley Thompson. Conley Thompson was born on the 10th of August 2007 in Barnsley, England. Barnsley is an industrial town in South Yorkshire, known for its rich history in coal mining and manufacturing, with numerous building sites and development shaping its evolving landscape. After the decline of the coal mining industry, there has been a push to attract new businesses, improve infrastructure, and create more housing, hence these building sites popping up in the ex-pit villages surrounding Barnsley. According to Conley's mother, Paula, Conley was a lively and spirited boy with an adventurous personality. He was described as a lovable rogue by those who knew him, a child full of energy and curiosity. At just 7 years old, he had a massive sense of adventure, often exploring outside with his friends. His family described him as a joyful presence, bringing happiness and laughter to those around him. Conley was a big fan of superheroes. He loved playing with superhero toys, dressing up in costumes, and dreaming about having their powers. On the 26th of July 2015, at approximately 6 o'clock, Conley told his mother he was going to play outside with his friends. This wasn't abnormal for Conley. He would often spend his days playing outside. However, his mother said he was only supposed to play near the house. Sadly that day, he chose not to. As stated previously, it was just before 6 o'clock when Conley went to play outside. He was supposed to return at 8, however, as it got closer to 8 there was still no sign of him. His mother waited and waited, but her child never returned home, prompting her to call the police. DCI Stopford stated, at 10:10 p.m. on Sunday the 26th of July, South Yorkshire police were alerted to a report that a 7-year-old boy, Conley Thompson, was missing, having last been seen leaving his home address by his mother at approximately 6 p.m. Multiple officers were deployed around the area of Worsborough in hopes to find the young boy, but their efforts turned up nothing. The police went on to say, the investigation was declared as a critical incident and around 50 officers were drafted in to search for Conley. Extensive, methodical and structured searches took place throughout the night involving specially trained search officers. The police searched areas that Conley was known to visit, including local parks, woodland, and other spots in the local vicinity. Although officers searched throughout the night, there was no signs of Conley. It was apparent from his friends that he had left the park to walk home, but obviously he never returned. The night came and went, which was agonising for the entire Thompson family, who anxiously awaited any kind of news. So where was Conley Thompson? It wasn't until the following morning that his family would receive the horrifying answer to their question. At approximately 8 a.m. the next day, builders arrived on their site in Churchview, Worsborough, to start their workday. The building site was run by Howard Civil Engineering, who claimed to be one of the North's leading civil engineering companies. Their resume of work includes the likes of the Victoria Gate Shopping Centre and Leeds City College's Quarry Hill campus. Fast forward 30 minutes later, work had started when some of the construction workers found a grim discovery. One of the workers had noticed small human hands protruding from one of the plastic pipes which was designed to house fence posts. These pipes were only 9 inches or 23 centimetres wide. The worker went to investigate further, and it was clear that there was a small child, deceased, stuck in the pipe. Emergency services were called and arrived quickly on the scene. And due to the large search the night before, it was pretty obvious to them who it would be. The police released a statement saying, "The body was found at approximately 8:30 a.m. Formal identification of the body is yet to take place. However, it is believed to be that of Conley. His family have been informed, and they are supported by specialist officers. The worksite was then closed down for further investigation. According to South Yorkshire Police, the search team were instructed to go to the worksite the night before. Locals in the area claimed children would often play on the site after work hours, despite being told they weren't allowed. It was easy to get in, and Conley had even been seen playing on the site in the past. However, police say that when they went to the site, they found it securely locked, which basically means they never even entered. DCI Stopford said, "The construction site, where Conley was sadly discovered by construction workers this morning, was checked by officers during the hours of darkness and found to be securely locked with a large perimeter fence." Understandably, people were not happy about this. The post-mortem results indicate that Conley somehow entered a vertical pipe at a nearby construction site and became trapped. He would have gone in feet first. His weight caused him to sink further into the pipe, which pushed his clothing around his body, restricting his ability to breathe. It was unsure if he had slipped and fallen due to the wet weather conditions, or he purposely lowered himself into the pipe. A child had even stated that Conley liked to run and jump between the cages near the pipes. With this information, the police said, "Our job is to now piece together Conley's movements on Sunday evening and establish how he accessed the construction site." It was pretty clear what happened. If he was walking back from the park, a shortcut would have taken Conley right by the building site. In this alleyway, where the shortcut is, access to the construction site is easy for just about anyone.
If Conley did set off to walk home from the park last night, this path right next to the building site would be an obvious shortcut for him. And at this point, the 6-foot-high security fence actually narrows down because of the shape of the ground to be just 4 foot high, and you can see where other people have used it to step inside.
Now finding out what happened, the investigation focused their approach on the construction site itself and why it was so easy to gain access. Following his death, an extensive investigation was launched to determine the causes of the accident and to hold accountable those responsible for the safety lapses. The inquiry revealed significant failures on the part of Howard Civil Engineering, the company responsible for the site. During a hearing at Barnsley Magistrates Court, the site was described as a death trap due to its inadequate safety measures. Prosecutor Andrew McGee, representing the Health and Safety Executive, stated that the site was located slap bang in the middle of a residential area, yet the fencing surrounding the development was substandard. It was either too low, poorly maintained, or non-existent in parts, allowing easy access for children, including Conley. Howard Civil Engineering admitted to 2 breaches of health and safety regulations, acknowledging that their negligence had directly contributed to the hazardous environment that led to Conley's death. 7 years after the tragic event, the company was fined £600,000 for these violations. The substantial fine was a result of the firm's failure to follow basic safety protocols, which, if enforced, could have prevented Conley's tragic death. It was also noted that security were not hired to oversee the site overnight. Paul Yeadon, from the Health and Safety Executive, said, "It's been a very difficult case. I have children myself, and the death of any child is a tragedy. The level of fine is never going to truly value a child's life." Following the closing of the case, Michael Howard of Howard Civil Engineering said, "We hope that the conclusion of this process can at least go some way in providing everyone affected by this tragedy with some resolution. We have engaged fully with the Health and Safety Executive throughout its inquiry, and in the 7 years since this incident has occurred, have put in place several measures to ensure the perimeter integrity of all our sites." In the aftermath, his family faced public criticism, with some casting blame on his parents for allowing him to play outside unsupervised. Conley had told his mother he was going to play with friends, and despite being instructed not to go far from home, he wandered off and was later found dead at the construction site. This led to a wave of harsh comments, with some accusing his parents of neglect. However, the family defended themselves, stating they had set boundaries for him and they always cared for his well-being. The public controversy added further pain to their loss, as they were already grappling with the shock and grief of his death. His funeral was held at St Thomas and St James's Church in Worsbrough Dale. His coffin was decorated with superhero symbols, and family members honoured his memory by dressing in similar attire. His heartbroken grandmother said, "He slipped. You know it was raining. He slipped and went straight down. I hate to think what his little mind was going through. His brain must have been all over the place trying to get out. It's not even sunken in now that he's gone. I'm stood next to the place where he died, and I'm thinking, what the hell were you doing, Conley, in a place like this?" She also reiterated that they had told Conley multiple times not to go to the building site. May he rest in peace. As always, this is not an AI channel, I do everything myself, and if you appreciate my work, subscribe, and if you want to go the extra step to support the channel, maybe consider becoming a member. Do you think the family deserved the criticism they got? Let me know in the comments below. As always, thank you for watching.